This week we learned a song called "Same Signs Adding," we learned if you want to be cool and stay in school, learn your divide and multiply rule. Same signs, answer is positive. Different signs, answer is negative. That means if the signs are the same, then the answer will be positive, whether or not it's two positives or two negatives. If the signs are different, answer is negative. Well, in this case, the answers are the two. The two are opposites, are not the same, so the answer is going to be negative. And what I do when I go through these, I go ahead and decide, well, this is going to be a positive or negative answer. Well, this one's going to be negative, so now all I have to do is worry about my math. 29 times 5, which is 45. I carry my 4. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. My answer is negative 145. Well, same thing here. If you want to be cool and stay in school, learn your divide and multiply rule. Same signs, answer is positive. No. Different signs, answer is negative. So go ahead and put that it's going to be negative. This is 378 divided by negative 7. So the 378 is going to go in the house, and the 7 is going to go outside. 7 will go into 37 5 times without going over. 5 times 7 is 35. I'm left with 2, but I got to bring down my 8, remember. 7 will go into 28 4 times. So the answer is negative 54. Same sides, answer is positive. So these are the same. Even though they're both negative, that means the answer is going to be positive. 72 times 6, that is 12. Carry the 1. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 1 is 43. Answer is a positive 432. We have different signs, so the answer is going to be negative. 385 will go in the house. 77 will go outside. 77 won't go into 38, but it will go into 385 about 5 times. And I'm going to check my math here. That's 5 times 7 is 35. Carry the 3. 5 times 7 is 35 again, plus 3 is 38. I got a remainder of 0. Therefore, my answer is negative 5. And then finally, we have negative 960 divided by 8. The signs are the same, so the answer is going to be positive. Always do this. Always put it there. That way, when you get done with your math, you can look back and remember whether or not it was positive or negative. 960 will go inside the house. 8 will go outside. This will go in here once. 8. I'm left with 1. Bring down the 6. That's 2. 2 times 8 is 16. 0, 0. Our answer is positive 120. Now here we have 3. Well, if we're doing multiplication or division, we just go from left to right, just like we're writing. Because all we have here, and there's no signs in the middle, which means it's multiplication. So let's just take them one at a time. A negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Rewrite the whole thing. Times negative 4. Well, now we've got a negative times a positive. So that's going to be a positive answer. And I'll just save you the math. 15 times 4 is 60. And you may have to do this out like this. Oops. Now let's get into some word problems. The temperature fell 36 degrees in 9 hours. If the temperature fell at the same rate every hour, what was the change each of the 9 hours? What I'm saying is, and you could even draw a picture. You've got the temperature up here, and then all of a sudden it dropped 36 degrees. And it took place over 9 hours. Well, if that took place over 9 hours, wouldn't we divide to see how much it fell per hour? That way we would know, if we knew that it was, the answer was, and the answer is 4, but we would say, well, we could say 4 times 9 is 36. Now here again we're dividing. The temperature fell 36 degrees in 9 hours. What we want to know is how much did it fall per hour? So for example, if it fell 9 degrees in 9 hours, we would divide 9 by 9 and get 1. Okay, so 36 will go in the house, 9 will go on the outside, it's 4. Remember it fell 36 degrees, so the answer is -4 degrees per hour. Or you could say it fell 4 degrees per hour, and you could leave off the negative. Either one of those would be fine with me. Number 8. And these numbers don't exactly go with your study guide, but they're pretty close. I threw out a few of the ones on the study guide for the review because there were several that were very similar. Number 8, if the shoreline is changing 3 centimeters each year due to erosion, what is the change in the shoreline over 6 years? Well, here we know that it's fallen 6 degrees per year. 6 degrees a year. How long over 6 years? Before we divide, this time we're going to multiply because I've got several different years over which a change of -3 centimeters is happening. So I'm going to say 6 for the 6 years times -3 equals. The answer will be negative because I got different signs. 6 times 3 is 18, and the answer is negative. What is the change in the shoreline over 6 years? Remember to put your unit of measurement, -18 centimeters. Or you can say the shoreline lost 18 centimeters over the course of 6 years. Either one of those is fine with me, but you have to be specific. We've talked about stock several times in class. The price of a stock rose $2 yesterday. If the stock continues at the same rate each day, what will be the total change over 10 days? Well, in one day it rose $2. If it happens every day for 10 days, what will be the total change? What will be the total change over 10 days? Again, we would multiply. A +10 times a +2 equals 20. But don't forget to put the unit of measurement. It's $20. Now we have a banking question. Evan withdrew a total of $160 from an ATM machine over 4 days. So a total, look for your key words here, total of $160 over 4 days. And now it says he withdrew the same amount each day. So every time we withdrew the amount, excuse me, it was the same. Or every time we went to the ATM, it was exactly the same. Write an expression to represent the total amount of Evan's account change each day. All I'm looking for is the expression. Okay, well, if over 4 days he drew the same amount of money out and it totaled $160, we would just say 160 divided by 4. And then, of course, 11 is asking you for using the information in the last question, what integer, and that's just a fancy way of saying one of these or one of these, represents the total amount of Evan's change each day. So I want to know, if we withdrew $160 over 4 days and each amount was equal, we can just divide and find out that 160 divided by 4 is 40. $40. Do not forget the unit of measure. And right here for dollars, you can just put the dollar symbol there. $40 a day. Again, a temperature. As a cold front moved in, the temperature dropped 3 degrees each hour for 6 hours. What was the total temperature change after the 6 hours? In other words, if it changed 3 degrees per hour for 6 hours, I want to know what the total temperature change was at the end of that 6 hours. Well, if it changed 3 degrees in 1 hour, it would change 6 degrees in 2, and 9 degrees in 3, and so on. We get that by multiplying the 3 times the 6, and we get 18. Now, we have to be careful, though. We want to be specific in our answer, because this is actually a -3, so that would be a -18. So you could say -18 degrees, or you could just say the temperature dropped 18 degrees in the 6 hours. Either one would be fine with me, but you've got to let me know that you know what you're talking about. Now this is a tough one, but you're going to have one like this on the quiz. The water level, and that should be of a full tank changes by the same amount each day when the tank leaks. So in other words, somebody comes along driving down the street, they chunk a rock at it, and it springs a leak. And for days and days it leaks. Each day it's going to leak the same amount. And when they're telling you the same amount each day or the same amount each minute or whatever, usually that means it's an even divide problem. The total change in the water level was negative 128 gallons after 16 days. So in 16 days it lost this much water. What was the daily change in the amount of water in the tank? Well, if it took 16 days for this much to fall out, we would need to just divide this number by 16. So we've got negative 128 divided by 16. That's how we set the problem up. A negative divided by a positive is going to be a negative, so put that up there and circle it. That way you know when you're done with the math what the answer is going to be, positive or negative.